Good morning, death to the West, and welcome to Wake Up Muslim Brotherhood, the only morning show on the country's only television channel, must-see TV, as per the orders of Abu al-Dahiri. I wanted to take a second to tell the band, you guys sound great today. I'm just kidding. Music is forbidden. My first guest this morning is a college student studying in Gaza. Please welcome Ali Fazad.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me, what is life like at university?
Oh, I am learning so much. Presently, I'm writing a paper on the possibility that the Prophet Muhammad did not die of a high fever as originally thought.
So you're okay writing blasphemy?
Oh, no, it's hardly blasphemous. It's simply a reevaluation of the facts.
God is great. My next guest is a politician with some radical new plans. Please welcome Saeed Al-Nami.
Thank you for having me. I love the show. Your Death to America brownies are a huge hit in my home. Death to America.
Thank you. Death to America to you too. Now, you are running for office. Tell me, what is your platform?
I want to lower taxes for farmers and for herders.
Ah, good.
I also want to build the strongest military in the world with a full nuclear arsenal.
That just makes sense.
And we at least talk about negotiating a peace with Israel.
God is great. My next guest is a woman. We have to take a quick break. Later, we'll learn how to cook an incredible omelet in just 3 minutes with Chef Mahmoud Arazi, plus our fun new segment, Throwing Rocks at Jews. Stick around, as per orders of Ahmed Al-Karabi.
The BS of A with Brian Sack.
Hello, and welcome to the BS of A. I'm your host, Brian Sack. Fiscal cliff, two words that scare all Americans, from stockbrokers and political pundits to taxi drivers and soccer moms. Everyone has an opinion on what to do about it, but today we have an exclusive interview with the man behind it all, Mankato, Minnesota accountant Cliff Fistel.
Yeah, no, I'm not behind it all. I have nothing to do with it.
Oh, well, just to clarify, you are...
My name is Cliff Fistel from Mankato, Minnesota, and ever since I graduated from accounting school, people have been calling me Fiscal Cliff.
Because you're a numbers guy.
No, because I'm a sex symbol. Yeah, because I'm a numbers guy. I've built up this brand as Fiscal Cliff, one of Mankato, Minnesota's top 12 accountants. And I'm sick of being blamed for bringing the country to the brink of economic calamity.
Okay, so what do you think of this looming fiscal cliff?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, with the caveat that, like most folks with an opinion, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I have a degree in accounting with a minor in baking theory from an unaccredited online university.
Okay, so what does Cliff Fistel think about the fiscal cliff?
Well, fiscal cliff is a term coined by Ben Bernanke to describe an arbitrary deadline set by politicians completely incapable of basic governance. But the original fiscal cliff, me, is an excellent golfer, a trusted financial planner, and foster father to two beautiful kids with Down syndrome. So when the Fed chief says that I pose a substantial threat to the economy, I say bull roar.
Well, I'm sure the politicians are just going to kick this problem down the road like they do all problems, and the media can refocus on something else to scare us, like a new bird flu.
No. The damage, it's done. This is clearly personal. Just yesterday, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers went on CNBC, and he said that I must be avoided at all costs. Man, he knows that my wife died 3 years ago, and I'm trying to make a go of it on ChristianSingles.com. And think about it. It's not even a cliff. It's tax rates slowly going up to what they were in the late 90s over the course of a year. Call it the cash ramp. Call it growing a pair and finally dealing with entitlement reform. But no. They got to go after this guy.
Okay, I mean, but do people really know who you even are?
Have you ever been to Mankato, Brian?
Bucket list?
Well, you know, I'm a local TV commercial celebrity. Check this out. Hi, I'm Fiscal Cliff, Central Minnesota's favorite accountant.
Fiscal Cliff. Fiscal Cliff. Fiscal Cliff.
When you think of finances, accounting, and America, think of just one person. Me, Fiscal Cliff. This person. Here's my cell phone number. Call it today.
Oh, boy, you must regret that.
Yeah, sure. I also regret getting "I'm the Fiscal Cliff" wrapped on my Mini Cooper. I really miss that car.
What about giving out your mobile phone number?
Yeah, that also was a mistake. Actually, speaking of which. Hello. Yes, this is he. You want me to do what to myself? Yeah, that's horrible. Choke on a what and die? That wouldn't even reach. That's gross. All right, bye, Mom. Yeah, sucks to be me right now.
Okay, so what are the next steps for you?
I mean, at this point, I'm already screwed. My Google rank is ruined. People hate me. Children throw garbage at me. My dog was framed for a crime that I don't think he committed. Now I know how my friend, famed aluminum siding salesman Ben Loudon in Omaha felt.
Omaha Ben Loudon?
The very same.
We'll be right back.
When the United States goes bankrupt in 2013, only one thing will keep America's enemies at bay.
I don't know, but I've been told. The streets of. Apparently, we can no longer afford the rights to this song.
Voters sent a clear message to my party this election. My colleagues and I now understand that the GOP needs to adapt if we are going to survive as a viable political party. We need to return to being the party of fiscal responsibility and limited government. And we can no longer afford to lose female and Hispanic voters to the Democrats, as happened in this past election. So I've introduced legislation that would ask them all to leave the country. What? Welcome back. I'm joined today by three experts to discuss the issues of the day that are of interest to me. We've watched my first guest grow up before our eyes on the hit television show 2.5 Men. Say hello to Angus T. Jones.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a real honor to be here. Turn off this piece of garbage now and get right with God.
Why would you do that to my show?
I love this show. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. My next guest spends much of her time as a member of Team Breezy, Chris Brown's Twitter fan base, when she's not hard at work as a parole officer in the state of California. Please welcome Melissa Greinicke.
Hi, thank you. Team Breezy. I did this to myself.
You did?
No.
And my final guest is the mascot for Twinkies Hostess's Golden Filled Cream Snack Cakes, Yum, Twinkie the Kid. Hi, Twinkie.
Hey, Brian. It's been a rough year.
Yes, it has, hasn't it?
Whew!
Yeah.
Real rough.
Tough times, tough times. Let's talk about something that is in the news right now. This Powerball lottery, $579 million jackpot. I think two people won it in Missouri and Arizona. All the statistics, all the reports show that the lottery is basically played by people who are either unemployed, undereducated, or poor. I mean, not all people, but there's a huge disproportionate number. Is the lottery fair? Is it a tax on bad choices or stupidity, Angus?
Yeah, well, I mean, any kind of behavior that's not, attending seminars at this church I go to is a shameful. It's essentially just like urinating all over yourself. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even really get into like who does it or anything like that. It's just like, don't do things. Don't do anything.
Don't do anything but go to the church that you go to.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
I would really hesitate to call anything a bad choice or stupid. The last time I did that, the outcome wasn't good for me. So I wouldn't tell Chris Brown that he's making bad choices,
Right.
and I wouldn't tell lottery winners that they are.
And you're a probation officer.
I'm
and
Chris Brown's probation
You are Chris
officer.
Brown's probation officer.
Yes.
You're kidding
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, I just saw him.
But also, you're a member of Team Breezy. His Twitter.
Oh, hey, Team Breezy.
Is that not a conflict of interest?
Nope, I'm fighting for him. You know, I'm rooting for him.
Your friend, how's he doing?
He's doing great. We had a weird misunderstanding earlier, but you know, everything's coming up Chris Brown.
Oh, great.
So,
Fantastic.
Team Breezy.
Team Breezy. Twinkie, what do you think? This lottery, I mean, is it a tax on stupidity? Is it something that, is it morally, unjust to put this out there for people who are not of the means to be spending this money?
Well, Brian, at the risk of offending my base, because it's mostly the poor and uneducated who eat Twinkies.
Oh, sure.
If they'd only spent that money buying more Twinkies, I'd be fine. I'd have a job. Instead, they go out and buy that stupid ticket. I'm right there next to the machine. I'm sitting there in my little shrink wrap package. Just pick me up. Just buy one less Powerball ticket and get yourself a Twinkie. You ain't gonna win. You always win with a Twinkie.
Angus, did you play the lottery?
I did, and I won. And the lottery is still an institution that's just the great Satan's, way of stealing money from your pocket. But I will take the money.
So you made a ton of money in the lottery?
Not on this Powerball drawing,
Right.
but in the 90s, yeah. When I was very young, my grandma would buy me tickets and stuff like that. And she's essentially no better than a prostitute. But we did win a couple times, $1,200, $1,500, and that money spent, I will tell you.
Let me ask you this. What would you do if you won $579 million?
Well, I would stop being Chris Brown's parole officer, I'll tell you what.
You can do that.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
You
No,
can't
it's
can't
fine.
leave him.
I can't. How could I leave him?
Or you could just ask for him to be transferred to
No,
someone
I
else.
can't. There's something about him.
Twinkie, what would you do with $579 million?
I'd self-invest.
Of course.
Yeah, but I'd do something along the lines of like the Green Bay Packers. I'd make it sort of like a group ownership deal that everybody can be invested in the American product that is Twinkies.
Because they are heavily invested in this American product already. That's why a lot of us are heavy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't want anybody to get diabetes, but Twinkie every once in a while, never hurt anybody.
No, I go to you a lot of times for comfort.
Well, that's
Twinkie.
nice to hear, darling.
Yeah, when my outsides are bleeding or swelling, I like to fill my insides with something sweet.
Okay, on that cute note, we're going to take a short break. This week's sponsor is constitutional expert Shane Krauser, author of Your Nation to Save, a line-by-line explanation of the Constitution. Mr. Krauser lectures and teaches all over the country through the American Academy for Constitutional Education. You can check them out at aafce.com, where you can order a copy of his book and learn more about his speaking engagements. We'll be right back. Is everything okay with you?
Everything's great. Thank you. Breezy!
As the newly appointed Republican Party Hispanic outreach official, I'm here to discuss how we as a party already have so much in common with our Hispanic friends.
Question, shouldn't the Hispanic outreach official be, Hispanic?
No, it's important that these press conferences be held in English, America's official language. Now, let me say this to my amigos in the Latino community. The GOP is just like you. Just the other day, I was listening to Ricky Martin, thinking to myself, this music really speaks to me.
You realize that Ricky Martin hasn't had a hit in more than 10 years, right?
Okay, perhaps, but I do know that Ricky Martin has the same bedrock values as the Grand Old Party. He can date my daughter any day of the week.
No, that wouldn't happen.
Now, it's not just music that links Republicans to the Latino community. It's also our love of lambada and our shared faith in God that we have in common with our homies.
That's not Spanish.
Gracias. The point is, we gringos have much in common with our brown-skinned brothers.
I'm going to jump in as the only conservative member of the mainstream media. I'm going to beg you to stop talking.
We know there are vanfuls of potential new voters streaming into the country every day.
We're leaving.
And we love them. We love them. We amore them.
That's Italian, idiot. Come on.
Did I mention the lambada?
So the 101st Airborne is going to deploy just outside here. We're expecting heavy casualties.
Is that because there's a concentration of enemy troops there?
No, I'm afraid there's just no money for parachutes.
Ooh.
And now, the Glenn Beck Show highlight of the week.
What I'd like is a giant painting of a big fat ass.
But that's not all. When you watch the Glenn Beck program, you'll also get this.
How was your day at work, honey? Oh, fine. I chopped off 1,000 dinglings.
The Glenn Beck Show highlight of the week was brought to you by Your Nation to Save, a new book by constitutional expert Shane Krauser. For books and speaking engagements, visit aafce.com.
As a newly appointed Republican Party LGBT outreach official, I'm here to discuss how we as a party already have so much in common with our queer friends. That's as far as we got. Any questions? Anybody? Can someone tell me what LGBT stands for? I know there's lesbians in it.
And we're back with constitutional scholar Brian Sack. Now, Brian, your knowledge of the Constitution is super impressive. Tell me, what's the 14th Amendment?
Oh, the 14th Amendment covers citizenship, privileges, due process, and equal protection. It was passed by Congress on June 13th, 1866, and ratified on July 9th, 1868.
And you know that off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head.
That's pretty impressive. Now, what does the 14th Amendment actually say?
Well, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof
are citizens of the United States and of the state where they reside. No state shall
make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges.
You know what? You can stop. Obviously, you've memorized this entire document.
Yes.
It's almost as if you have like a secret earpiece and there's a smallish man in another room reading you a copy of Your Nation to Save, a line-by-line explanation of the U.S. Constitution by Shane Krauser.
Well, thanks. That's very flattering.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It is. Now, Brian, one of the particular areas of interest to me involves the part of the Constitution.
No, please.
I've always been sort of fascinated. That part has never been legislated, or adjudicated by a court. And I think that, I can imagine sort of a future world. Do you think, specifically regarding, say, the Fourth Amendment?
What?
The Fourth Amendment. Just first off, could you just explain for our viewers what the Fourth Amendment is?
Yeah. The Fourth Amendment? The Fourth Amendment is the one after the third, and the second one is the guns.
No. Verbatim.
Sure.
You could do it.
The Fourth Amendment is...
Oh my God! Somebody call the
police! Call the police! Oh my God! So much blood! I'm a lady! Help! Help!
Don't fall for frauds. Only one man knows the Constitution inside and out. Shane Krauser. Wait a second, how did this giant raccoon get into my voiceover booth? Oh my God, help! Ah! Ah!
Listen, Sergeant, we're pinned in here. You gotta call in an airstrike.
Okay. All right. The number's been disconnected.
And we are back with Angus T. Jones.
Repent.
Melissa Greinecke and Twinkie the Kid. Let's talk about women in the military. There's been a lawsuit on behalf of female soldiers who would like to be in the front lines, who want their right to fight alongside the men. Angus, what do you think about women serving in the front lines?
Well, I mean, they're really sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place because on the one hand, they really should be allowed to serve in the military, be afforded the rights of all men. But they are born women, so, they're going to go to hell. So, it's like...
Why are they going to go to hell for being...
Well, it's, the temptress and the sin of Eve and stuff like that.
Oh.
It's obviously... So I don't envy him. I don't envy him that. But if you want to fight and kill somebody else before you need to go and yourself be gutted, at the altar of God, I say, have at it. I don't know.
Melissa, what do you think about women in combat?
I think it's great. I think every woman should know how to take a punch and keep going. So.
Okay, well, I don't know if it's about that.
I think that is.
No, I think it's more about women having an equal opportunity to fight in a war.
I don't know how I feel. I'm breezy about it. Team breezy.
Twinkie?
Oh God.
You are a damaged person. Brian, I'm a pacifist.
Okay.
My blood is cream. Cream runs through these veins, so I don't really get hot-blooded about much. I just prefer to bring everybody home, put a Twinkie in their hand, have them.
You want everyone to be satisfied.
That's right.
So none of you are actually against women being in the front lines, because there are arguments. There are pro and con arguments. I mean, there are logistical arguments maybe, and also men. Let me. If you were fighting in the front lines,
sure,
and you saw a woman, injured and needed your help, would you risk your life even more so than you would for a man?
Oh, sure. I mean, part of my personal philosophy is to give for others. So if I saw a woman hurting like that, I would go to her and I would try to explain to her, that rap music is a sort of like AIDS for your brain,
Don't say that.
What, I'm sorry?
Don't say that.
Yeah,
you can get in a world of hurt if you say something like that.
I mean, I think it'll be all right. I'm pretty much untouchable.
Melissa, what do you think? I mean, would you think a man would act differently toward you on the front lines?
That hasn't been my experience, that a man has treated me differently. But yeah, I don't know. If I could do it, I'd probably have to hide behind my desk or something. But
not a lot of desks out there in the front lines.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twinkie?
Well, I guess I'd have to say that with the advent of more advanced military technology, the ideas of physical limitations for a woman is a small ceiling. I think that at this point it's an even playing field, and with the fact that so many wars are fought from a boardroom miles away, that sure, put them on that front line.
You know what, for a guy with cream for brains, that's a very nice analysis.
Thank you.
But from an emotional standpoint, let me ask you this. I mean, you're on the front lines, you see a female Twinkie go down. Are you more likely as a male to risk yourself for this female than you would a male Twinkie?
Well, I would believe that if it were implemented, then you just have to see a comrade as a comrade, whether they're a ho-ho or a ring-ding or a Twinkie. You're all in it together.
That's fantastic. Okay. That's it for this week's BS of A. Please join us next week for a brand new episode. Like us on Facebook, love us on Twitter, and if you're on MySpace, it's time to take a good hard look at the choices you've made in your life. I'm Brian Sack in New York. Good night, America, and stay in school, Team Breezy.
Woo!
No offense.
Oh, was that a knock?
It was.
Oh, I just heard Team Breezy and I wooed.
Right. No, I was slamming them.
Well, you should.
High five.
I get slammed a lot, so
Oh.
I get it.